Alright guys, Bill here back with more Far Cry 5. Yeah, so it turned out my power went out since I did work today. But I guess in the time between when I went to work and when I came home, my power went out. So I had to go through the process of resetting all my clocks and everything, so that was fun. And also had to go through the process here of I actually, I got home around 11, did watch Big Brother, and then it's now midnight. Could have gotten the recording earlier. The problem is that obviously because the power went out, I had to I don't even know what it's called, but whatever. Where like it checks your hard drive to make sure everything's okay. Like, so I had to do that for the regular hard drive, which I mean for like the actual system, which that doesn't take too long. But the process for doing it for the fucking external hard drive is a while. It took about, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes or so. Because the problem is that all of these games, like the game that I'm playing right now, Far Cry 5, is on my hard drive. So it won't allow me to play it until like it checks the game. So it took a little while. Whatever. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna start the main mission here. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I have tomorrow off. The plan in the morning is to play Far Cry 5. That's really pretty much it. I do have some stuff going on in the afternoon. But yeah, morning, Far Cry 5. Afternoon, when I'm not busy, try to work on my Big Brother review. Hopefully get it done. I would get caught up, I should say, tomorrow. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So today I did watch Big Brother. Episode was pretty solid. Dr. Will's the neighbor, not super surprising. I said this last night. It's either Will or Rachel. What is surprising though is next week is a triple eviction. I was expecting a double. I was not expecting a triple. Which sucks because I'm working at the time. So I don't know how I'm going to approach it, if I'm going to try to just avoid spoilers or if I'm going to just like, because the problem is too is that based on how the schedule is worked out, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in a position where like I'm not going to be able to check my phone or whatever throughout the episode. Like today, I wasn't I wasn't super busy, so like I could check my phone to get updates on the episode and everything. I can't really do that next week, I don't think. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'll approach it. I'll probably try to remain unspoiled. That's gonna be tough.
You're gathered here to bear witness.
Or devoted. You're gathered here to bear witness.
I was willing to atone for their sins.
Gonna kill the pastor?
Willing to atone for this.
Will you, Nick, Rye, place your hand upon the word of Joseph?
Will you, Nick,
You know, you're able to interact.
given into that psychopath.
You're able to jump in and say, hey, this is
There it is.
we told you this a few days
Greed.
ago. So are you still mad? You're probably not as mad as you were when we told you. So, you know, that's something.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the update for the most part.
She should have put Ian on the block in the first place, and then it would have been Ian versus Kevin or whatever, Ian versus David or whatever, and she would have been, or even just put Day on the block at that point, and then put Ian up as a replacement when Day wins, and it's
Yes.
Ian versus Kevin, and then
Yes, that
and
works,
then
Tom.
they can easily send Ian home there or Kevin home, and they're all fun. Like that was the big mistake that they made, and everything they
Terrence, we saw that Nicole and Danny gave their vote
Take away your sins.
votes to Kevin tonight.
I did also add the Nier Automata video that I was talking about earlier to the schedule. Because I thought it was before where Nier Replicant, whatever, the remake, is coming out on April 23rd, I think. And I've been wanting to replay Nier Automata anyway, so I decided, you know what, let's just do a video for that. So add that to the schedule, had to bump the Genius video a week, had to bump the top 10 games of the generation, I think like 3 months. So that's not great, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm thinking of canceling my Final Fantasy PS1 trilogy retrospective.
I was totally impressed by it. I thought it was one of the best eviction speeches I've heard on the show. In all the years I've watched, I thought it was so well spoken. I feel like I was just flounder up there. I was so remember the word of what I was intending to say, and I felt like she was so composed. Even when you could tell she was not happy and not thrilled with all the people in the house, I thought she did such a great job. She touched on so many different points as well. I feel like she covered management, she covered representation, she covered the history of Big Brother. Like, I just feel like it was so well done, and it's
Oh my god, it was so awkward, Julie Chen.
I love God too. I love that you thank God and make Cassandra Walden be investing in it was very
It was Walton, wasn't it?
I just feel like totally could have just been like great speech things. Like I feel like that would have been like a lot simpler. Or if anything, just been like she could say like I love God and I love Big Brother as well or whatever. Like I just feel like instead of just took like this long well said. Simple well said advice.
Oh my gosh, and it was so beautiful. I want to jump in and say that, you know, I think one thing that's been so great about today on the live shows is that every single time she's made the most of that moment. And I also give credit to Big Brother Productions that they didn't cut her off, even though she was definitely going on for a while today. And so that was beautiful to see. But she, like, yeah, oh my god. They did tell Kevin, all right, Kevin, we are in the live show. Go, so Kevin, what?
That's enough.
Lights on! Shoot at those trucks!
We'll come back to Julie talking with Devon when she comes out. We did get the segment finally, Baron, of Memphis's Wise Guy. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, really, they ended it in a way that made it fun. Like, they didn't even need, like, they could have done it.
You just shot the raw footage. Yeah, I'm very surprised that Enzo seems to actually want to go to the end.
Want to go to the end with Enzo?
Yeah, I'm surprised Memphis wants to go to the end. Yeah,
Hearing from Enzo. Yeah, I'd go to the end with Memphis. I'm gonna be that guy. Hearing from Cody, like, oh, I like this. It brings Enzo in. This is perfect. Hearing from Christmas, like, you know, I'm still loyal to Tyler, but I'm gonna need something if he goes home to you know, to back me up, to have another team to go to. So, like, good to hear that end of it. Like, I was happy to get all of these perspectives. I think it's rare in the episodes that I'm actually, like, learning things and confirming things via the diary room.
I thought it was so funny how this segment was basically everybody thinking they were pulling over the wool over the other person's eyes. Like, it was like Memphis thinks that he's being super clever and being like, look, I think I can beat Enzo in a final two, so I'm going to make a final two with him. And Enzo's like, that's great, I'm going to make a final two with Memphis because I'm going to beat him in a final two. And then, like, Christmas is like, this is great for me because I need another option. Like, and then Cody's like, this is great for me because these two guys don't know that I'm working with each of them. Like, it was just like, oh my god, it was really well done too. It's just like, it starts off with just like Memphis having this plan, and then it's like you realize that everybody thinks that they're outsmarting the other person. It was great.
It's kind of like the brilliance of how Memphis pitched this is that he doesn't need people to be 100% in. He knew that. Like, he pitched it in a way where he's providing an option for people. It's the same thing he did with the committee, where at first the committee was a joke. Nicole was not a day 2 alliance. I'm beginning to realize that people lie when they say they had day 2 alliances.
Oh, fuck.
Because this was not on day 2. It was like day 7
shit.
or something. And so, but it was initially a joke. Nobody was loyal to this thing, but because it was an option, it persisted, and now it is the dominant force in the entire season. And I think this wise guys thing is probably going to be pretty similar, where this is an option for everyone in the back of their minds, and it's what will keep these people safe with each other. And we might have an end game consisting of the wise guys being the most important thing we're talking about.
That was too easy, actually. Too easy. Too easy. One question I have, though, I'm just not too sure about the strategy of naming both of the alliances. And I don't know if it's like 2 different alliances, or if it's part A and a part B.
Oh, that started the next mission?
Or 1A, 1B, something like that. But I'm not sure I'm behind the strategy of naming the alliances the same thing. I just feel like that could blow up. Maybe there's a reason we haven't seen that before, but...
I also loved how Chris was like, wise guys, but I'm not a guy.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Wait, how do I move?
Yeah.
It's just a
Fun
funny
fact,
thing.
fun fact, the reason she was upset about the name is because she already had a name in mind for the alliance. She wanted to call it Triple Threat, which is actually the name of the final 3 between Cody, Tyler, and Enzo.
But is it if there aren't the 3s in the name?
That's true.
There we go.
That's true.
Okay, I thought I was just in the wrong thing.
Technically be different.
Sounds
So.
good.
And it's totally fine for Christmas to be an alliance called the wise guys, even if she's not a guy, because she's also not wise, so it's fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah, works either way. I did think that Christmas had a good moment in the episode when she pulled David aside to talk to him about pulling him in, and she's trying to say, like, look, David, you know, listen, I believe you, and David is like, yes, and she says something, and this was a good moment.
So I want you to think about who you're going to call out. Doesn't matter who else.
Yeah, he's like, she didn't call out the call, Danny, she's like, yeah, and that's it. All done.
It's the narrative. Stop right there.
Yeah, you got it. We don't need to talk about anybody else that she doesn't call out.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Christmas started the conversation. I'm not here to entrap you. Just don't worry. And it seemed to work, actually. David was actually kind of more open and strategic than usual. Which
I thought... Oh, go ahead.
I was super curious to know. Again, this is another situation where, like, when I watched this on the feeds, I was like, I'm desperate to know, how does David feel about this? Because he usually just nods and agrees, and then later is like, I don't trust Tyler. And so I was like, does he really buy into this? And we got a diary room, and he does. He appreciates that Christmas believes him. And,
Oh, shit.
And he's really going after Danny and Nicole. And I was like, wow, like, that was it. People forget.
Oh, fuck,
And
what?
I think I talked about this in the preseason, that Christmas was a social force in the early part of Big Brother 19. She was the only person who talked to Josh early on, and even before Paul did, she was the one that picked Josh up. She knew how to talk to him, she knew how to bring him in, make him feel heard, make him feel appreciated when nobody else would, and she locked him in for the entire season. And David is kind of in a similar spot right now, where he's kind of got nowhere to go. He's got a lot of potential suitors who are looking to pick him up, and of all the people in this house, of all the good players in this house, Christmas is the one who seems to have succeeded.
Yeah, I thought she was really great in that segment. I thought that, you know, Christmas did a great job with David. I thought that she seems like open and friendly and accepting.
We're
and just
playing
like,
East
hey,
Combat
look,
now?
I believe you. And I feel
Fuck
like,
off.
you know, Taryn, you said this on the roundtable, that like it's so important when someone just will finally say, like, I believe you. Like, if everybody's doubting you and everybody's saying that you're a liar, but really you're telling the truth, and this one person comes in being like, look, I believe you, I'm on your side. Like, that's me.
Oh, shit, that really did a lot of
I thought that
damage.
she did excellent with David, and I was really impressed.
that, how great will it be when Christmas takes David to the final two?
Oh my gosh, she's gonna be so proud of herself too. It's gonna be the best moment. I don't know. Who knows? I think David might take Christmas.
Oh,
I think he's going on a run. He's going on a run.
Yeah.
I'm calling it here first.
Wow.
David's
Here
gone
it is.
far. He's gone far. Put your stock on him. It's time. It's his year. Finally.
Well, here's my concern about David and Kevin and anybody else, like even Danny to a degree. People that, because Davon made such a point about like, hey, if you lied to me or if you screw me over anyway, you're not getting my vote. Which, like, you're supposed to say the opposite on the way out the door. You're supposed to say, hey, if Tyler or Cody get to the end, they're getting my vote because they played you all, because that puts a big target on Tyler and Cody. And instead, she said, like, hey, if you lied to me, if you weren't straight up with me, you're not getting my vote. And I'm very concerned that is, and I know the typical response here is like, oh, well, the people were going to be targeting David anyway. But I really do think that a lot of people have been looking at David as like, ooh, I wouldn't mind sitting next to David in the final two. And something like what Day said about like not voting for people and you know, knowing that David is probably going to have some extra votes, it's just going to give them a little bit more pause about like, do I really want to be sitting next to David when I could be sitting next to somebody else who's in the same boat as me? Maybe not, David. Sorry.
Yeah, but I think that for Davon, I think she wants to stick it to the people in the house more than she's thinking about like David's long-term prospects to win the game.
You stick it to them by putting a target on their back. That's how you stick it to them.
Yeah, but that's a little more. That's more down the road. That's more down the road. So this is instantaneous gratification. Stick it to everybody on the way out the door. Okay, so Davon does get voted out, and there's some weird stuff going on. I don't know if this is going to translate to the podcast. That they just cut Julie's mic at one point after Davon walked out of the house.
When we return, I will talk one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
Fuck. What happened there?
Focused on the wrong audio.
Yeah.
And today instead of Julie.
That's what happens. I really thought someone was like, okay, Julie, you have to stop. Like, ad-libbing here. This is enough.
Yeah. Okay. There was another moment from the conversation when Davon comes out of the house and Julie's asking her, how are you feeling? She says that she's really sick of those people and that she can't deal with all the fakeness. And the old Davon was coming out, and Julie is going to explain that to the audience.
And so when I did my veto speech, I think they realized, oh snap, this is who we saw in season 17 and 18. She's back. We can't do nothing with that, so let's let her go.
From 4 and 5 years ago when you first played.
Exactly. From Big Brother 17 and 18, yes, it was 4 and 5 years ago.
Yes, Rob, from 4 and 5 years ago when we podcasted about Big Brother 17 and 18. I'm so glad you're bringing this up from 4 and 5 years ago.
Yes, to be confused with some other season 17 and 18. Yes, of course. From your previous times on the show.
Rob,
I get that.
Oh, we got it?
Doing every single Thursday episode, I'm losing my mind. It's so awkward. Like,
It wasn't like this, or is it just because there's no live audience that like we're really noticing it?
Look, that you did not have an audience.
Maybe she's just having an audience.
So we're all, socially distanced. We come on, we do podcasts, and we talk to each other. But any of us, if we were going to go out and then have an interaction in person with someone, it's weird. That's if you were going to film me in a conversation with Matt in real life, I'd be super awkward.
You probably just run over and grab and hug me because it's like,
Did you ever stop?
masks on, sanitizer, all of it. I think he's really excited to see people. The one thing that when Faye walked out of the house after almost losing her wig, her great wig to the cold brand, by the way, Julie made some comment about how she would hug Day, but she couldn't without taking her wig, which I think is like her way of saying I love you.
What does
It's
she...
the day that was she said she would give her a virtual hug. Over Zoom? No longer virtual.
You don't understand.
She was just virtual before. Now
I don't
she's in
believe
person.
You don't care?
A virtual hug in person. And she was like, I would do it better than Nicole too. I would not take her face. I don't know if I buy the theory.
Because she's not great in person, she's also not great when she's conferencing them. Both ways have been awkward, Rob.
I don't know
What
what
are you
this
gonna
is.
do?
I really think it's got to be the audience thing. I feel like it's always a lot smoother when she can like play off the audience's reactions or like smile at the audience or something or like I don't know.
Really? She's for seasons.
But I think now she's used to audience. She's used to audience now. Now she can't go back to the old days when she was just by herself in a studio. Do that.
The thing that bothers me most about every single week when we see someone evicted, and we never talk about this, is how Tony says what he loves to love people. Like, this is not a thing. That's not a thing. And it's
Now that it's not a threat, now that there's an option, it's just, you know, oh, I wish I could, but I can't. Guess I'm not talking.
I would hug all of you right now if I could.
I would,
Unfortunately, I'm trapped in this screen. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's go back to last season and see how many times people got a hug on the way.
I think everyone.
They came out of the house.
I feel like they did.
You
I
think
don't know.
they get hugged?
I feel like they did.
Okay, we'll see. Okay.
This is the selfie with them.
Rob, while we're on this topic, are we gonna talk about the happy birthdays?
Well, that didn't happen yet, but that's at the when they bring in the Dr. Will twist. But yeah.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Dominique.
Happy birthday, Charlie Moonbus.
Wait, Julie's doing shout outs.
They're like, no. And she's like, yes. They're like, happy birthday. She's like, no. Happy birthday, my kid.
And then she's like, no, I have nobody else.
That's it. No. Come on, we gotta move on.
You gotta move on, guys.
Happy birthday, Dominique.
Happy birthday, Charlie Moonbus.
We need to build this segment into the show. Like, there needs to be a shout-out segment. Maybe they could have some of the birthday shout-outs scrolling on the ticker at the bottom of the screen.
No, but this is interesting. That not a lot of people say that like.
Oh shit. I didn't think they were gonna be enemies.
But I probably won't. Happy birthday, Dominic. Sister Nina.
You got us, Rob.
Yeah.
You got it.
I've never heard a retaliatory happy birthday wish in my life.
Went over the top.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Charlie. When is this a contest? What is going on?
No, you don't get a birthday shout out.
Yeah.
I get a birthday shout out, and no one else.
Also, happy birthday to Jenny Autumn and Akiva Winokur this weekend. Also, Julie.
Is this the birthday shout out for
Yeah.
the podcast?
Oh man.
Are we all just gonna start shouting
Anybody
at
else?
So my God of War video, it's so funny. Like in the last 8 hours
That
since
was
I
an
last
interesting
recorded,
shout-out,
more
and
than
then
that,
I thought that,
10 hours
Christmas
since I last
had a
recorded.
interesting
My God of War video has gone up
episode.
2 views. It's like fuck me, man. That God of War video really dropped off. Like I mean, it was doing bad initially.
Big Brother?
Then it got started doing competent enough.
We heard that.
Oh, we actually got that checkpoint. That's kind of funny. And then today it just died.
really calls her and just
So,
like,
oh well.
I sort of like do not just call my brother.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does that.
It's like Arrested Development.
Okay. With Davon, she wraps things up. We talked about it at the top of the show. Julie would like to join Davon at 6 feet distance.
Fuck.
This game, I love being black, and I just love everything right now. Speaking margarita, I'm ready to go. Big that too, I'm joining her. We're 6 feet away.
Fuck me, man.
We're socially distanced margaritas. Like, you don't always have to say it. Like, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say it every time. Maybe it's a legal thing.
Yeah. Getting more evidence that maybe Devon did know about the Nicole bombshell because she...
and you could tell from the goodbye messages that she reacted much more to the fact that Danny and Nicole were both in the alliance than the fact that Nicole voted Ian out. And that's what shocked her because, all week long she has also been saying that, Danny and Nicole are on the outs. Kevin, you must protect them. They're the next to go. It's the next to go. You got to get these guys out to learn that they're working tightly with that crew. Is definitely going to be a shock to her.
She did know.
She is dying to know.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got to everything with Dr. Will, and then Julie is going to close out the show with another hit from sign off.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Shen Moonves. Be quick to listen
Wait, am I out of ammo?
and slow to become a
I'm not. Why the fuck won't it reload?
That can't even fit on a portion.
I don't think that actually is a quote, is it? I want to say this.
Yeah, so somebody said on my Twitter earlier tonight, and paraphrase a little bit, but sort of something along the lines of, "You idiot! Everything she said this season is a Bible verse."
Yes. I mean, I believe she has found God, or I don't know if she hasn't found him previously, but definitely there has been some sort of...
I mean, you could go back to the Dave on response.
Yeah.
I love my child. I love Big Brother. Let's play this game. I love God too. I love that you can.
I don't recall Julie being this pious in previous seasons. I believe this is a recent development.
Yeah.
And
She's been through a lot.
yes, exactly.
It all adds up.
What's going on?
Like, to me, it's kind of like when you are like a teenager and you read like a cool philosophy book or something and you like post quotes about it on Facebook. Like
People do that?
She's like, posting quotes, like cool quotes that she's reading on the episode at the end. That she's like, this is I found.
Did life feeds ever come back? I just realized I completely forgot about that.
Fucking thing started
look,
scrambling around.
It's,
How the doors started closing, locking us inside.
the earnestness, right?
I thought I was gonna be
Trying
done
to
here.
keep effort. I mean, if this one's there's a lot going on. She should just really keep it simple. But I would love to see Julie come out with a line of mugs because I would love to get a few of them with these quotes just for all of the great BB22
Yep.
memories.
Not back
So,
up.
Look,
yeah.
Why the fuck did that close? Alright.
Piece of shit.
At least she does quotes at the end, and by that point I've usually turned the episode off, so whatever.
Yeah. And this was better than last week, where she said that she was like, remember, don't judge, or you will be judged. I was like, hey, this one at least wasn't threatening.
At least she's not threatening us anymore.
Yeah, this one wasn't so menacing. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some questions. Let's hear what the listeners had to say about
I don't give a shit about this game's story.
Sarah, we are waiting to hear the HOH.
We are gonna get there.
Yes, I believe so.
And then we are
People wearing some fancy clothes. Do they get the opportunity to change clothes when we have a night like this?
Well, they're usually told what to wear depending on what kind of competition it's going to be.
Interesting.
So
That Jason Schreier
probably not going to be athletic.
said that Final Fantasy 16 has been in development for at least 4 years and will be released sooner than people expect.
Let's take
So is it early
questions
next year
From
then?
the listeners. Zabu, should I renew my subscription for CBS Live feeds to watch Dr. Will, or is he only going to show up in the competitions? Matt, do you think we'll see any Dr. Will on the live feeds?
Yeah, no, he's not popping up. He's not going to be in the house. Dr. Will's comfortably at home in his hot tub, with his robe not too far away, enjoying himself. I don't think we'll see him on the live feeds, but that would be interesting to see him pop up in the house with the mask on, socially distanced, of course. So we can only hope. You gotta love Dr. Will.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think he comes down from his perch, but you don't think there's any chance, Taryn, that we see him, like, milling about over there?
I think there's zero chance we see Dr. Will in the feeds.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question from Raynex in the chat. Who's asking, can we talk about the Danny Cody spat at the end of the episode? Melissa, did you catch any of that, or had you turned your TV off yet?
No, I actually heard that, and I was confused. I don't know what they're talking about. Do you know, Taryn?
Yeah, so earlier in the day, yesterday, Danny was talking to Nicole about whether she should use her power on Memphis. Danny was reluctant, so her power would allow Memphis to compete in the HOH again. She was reluctant to do so because she was worried that it would give away the fact that she's aligned with Memphis, because she had already told Devon about the power, and if Devon has told Kevin, then Kevin will realize that Danny used the power on Memphis, and then if Kevin wins the HOH, he'll nominate her because he'll realize that she's working with Memphis. He'll get the memo that she's in the alliance. So she didn't really want to do it, but Nicole was saying you should do it because it gives us an extra number to compete against Kevin and David. And Nicole was very worried that Kevin is going to come after her because her secret was outed by the Wall Yeller. So in the morning, this morning, Danny woke Cody up early in the morning because she needs him to let her know what she should do. And he was a little bit grumpy. The feed's cut for most of this conversation, but I kind of gathered from the conversation that Cody was encouraging her to do the same thing, that she should use the power on Memphis, and that and she felt like that again the Alliance was pressuring her to do something that was good for the Alliance, not good for herself. And so I think he was like also like a little bit tired, and that's what he's apologizing for, like, oh, you woke me up, I was a little bit grumpy, I'm sorry if I made you feel a certain kind of way. But then she went up to talk to Memphis, and they I guess it's going to be in the next episode, so whether or not she chose to
hopefully
use
I got that checkpoint.
we actually still don't know for sure, but that was what the argument was about, that they were sort of like, he was just kind of like, hey, I didn't mean to make you feel pressured, and she was like, yeah, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Let's take another question. This is from Josh, who says, is there any chance they already taped one or two of the triple evictions yesterday when the feeds were down? Josh? Let me...
Oh, fuck off.
Let me go... Okay. Josh, don't worry about this. There's no chance they taped one of the triple evictions yesterday. That didn't happen. Okay. All right. Good question, though. Eileen, did the Alliance know how Danny and Nicole were going to vote? Yay, triple eviction. Melissa, was this unexpected that it was a 5-2 vote?
I think they all knew that Danny was trying to convince people to vote for Devon. I think when that didn't work, I mean, I don't think it's a situation that people are going to be upset by this vote. I think they already knew that Danny and Nicole wanted to keep Devon. I mean, Sharon, you're making a face. Am I saying something off?
I don't think they're going to be like, I can't believe they did it, but I think they're going to be like, this is exactly what we were saying.
Well, I think it's also a good reason. Like, they'll be able to use that as well.
Or is Nicole going to be like, oh my god, you guys, who are the 2 votes to evict Kevin? It must have been David.
David! Again!
How did you do that?
David?
Both of his votes.
How could you?
It's definitely going to add fuel to the fire to target Danny and Nicole, that they are pandering for jury votes, that they were clearly aligned with Devon. I don't think it was the right call for them, because I don't think it's really going to win them any points with Day anyway.
Right. Totally. I think that ship has sailed.
All right. James says, is Julie ordering takeout before the show and reading a fortune cookie that is causing her bits to sound fortune cookie-ish? I mean, it's not really a fortune cookie, because she's not like giving a prediction.
No, and it's a little tough to figure out exactly. I'm on board with the Bible verse theory here.
She should start giving out lucky numbers, like they do with the fortune cookies. You know, just like, and your lucky number for this Thursday is 3, 10, 24. Go.
No.
So she did an Instagram story, I think, like a week or so back, where she was talking about a book that like her roommate from college gave her,
somebody had tweeted it. Denise Graves on Twitter. She's holding up the book. It's called Hope. Is the name of the book.
Hope for Each Day: Words of Wisdom and Faith.
Okay.
This sounds to me like a book of platitudes that you might read at the end of an episode that you hosted.
And whatever happened to citations? Like, shouldn't she have to reference who the quotes are coming? That's the part that bothers me the most. Because there was a lot of that in school, and she should probably get an F or something for that.
Yeah. And bad news for the
Why is this a
author
mission?
of this,
Like, why is this a thing?
book, Hope for Each Day.
I can fucking kill the guy. Like, who gives a shit
go
about
to
this?
Amazon and leave 1-star reviews after they don't like how the next twist plays out. Yeah.
Well, that book's called.
Yeah. Okay. Katie Wallace says, why is everyone using Josh's strategy for goodbye messages? It seems it's a way for everyone to avoid telling the truth to each other.
I don't think they really need excuses for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game. They lie to each other. I actually think it's good. I mean, Tyler especially seems to have been killing it in the goodbye messages these last couple of weeks between Ian and now Devon. You know, I think they've landed pretty well, and I think he's delivered them pretty well.
I feel like this is like what we always say is a good thing. It's like let them know what happened in the goodbye message, so that when they leave, they're not leaving like, okay, what's going on, and then asking the person to leave next to fill them in, because that allows for, you know, misinterpretations of what's going on. So I think that you being the one to say, I was in an alliance, I'm so sorry I had to get you out, is fantastic.
Hypothetically, but Matt, in a post-Wall Yeller world, is it better not to have all these secrets in the house, which basically your game fate rests in the hands of who gets near the house with a megaphone, where this may be an outdated way to play the game, where you have all these secrets that if you play more of the game that's out in the open, you are immune and impervious to wall yelling.
Oh, Rob, that's like next level strategy there, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But I think you know what? The thing I think would be better for the game might be just the producers casting wall yellers. So
they'll put the wall yellers in the house.
Yeah, or maybe or like on the fence, because then at least we can see.
Fuck.
A little bit, you know, it's like literally a wall yeller. Like
Dr. Will binoculars, so he could be kind of like the lookout up there, and okay, guys, we got one incoming. We got a boat.
They really should, the security that's out there should, first of all, disguise themselves as a wall yeller, so that when one comes by, they're like, nah, I already got this. No, this is my turf. And then if they do yell something, you can just yell the opposite, and yell over them via your megaphone. That's going to be much more effective security than chasing people, or whatever they do. I don't know. Maybe that's the strategy.
What if they move the house on the CBS lot, Darren, and don't tell anybody, and then the people will be yelling over the wrong wall?
I mean, they could do that. I think it would take a lot of work to move the entire house, though.
Okay, that's for next year. Think about it. Okay, let's take another question. Wait, we're stuck on Katie's question. I'm not sure. Okay, yes. Allie Cross, how much does Dr. Will look like Jack Frost? Come on, but Dr. Will looks amazing. Okay?
Fuck.
Get out of here,
No,
Allie.
game. What the
Cass.
fuck?
Coming for Dr.
Where the
Will.
fuck did they come from?
Dr. Will,
Fucking 3 guys out of nowhere were surrounded.
Dr. Will has never been HOH. I think the bathrobe look just doesn't suit him. Because he's not meant for that kind of power. He's better off, just in the suit or in other clothes.
Yes. Okay. Melissa, are you trying to get likes and show people your dog?
Yeah, she's right here. That's Riley. Riley, look at the camera. There she is.
Same right there, Riley.
She was whining next to me, so I was like, what's going on here?
She wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, hey, that's Dr. Will. He's a Big Brother legend. You don't say that stuff.
Yeah, come on, everybody. All right. B-Tuck2 says, was David's diary session for real? He had to have Christmas revealed to him that Nicole set him up to take the blame for the Tyler vote. That was the only option? How could he have not known? I don't think that he didn't know. He was happy somebody believed him.
Yeah, and she also revealed some things about Danny that like helped open his eyes that like Danny was a part of this too. So she did give him some information, but yeah, he definitely was aware that Nicole. He knew that obviously he voted that way, so Nicole must have voted the other way.
Okay. Then
Fuck.
we have from Lisa.
Oh,
You really
fuck
think that
off.
punishing hundreds of thousands of live feeders for a couple of wall yellers is justified? I guess, Taryn, do you think this was a punishment, or you feel like that there was they just do not want to address the wall yeller, and that's all they talked about for this time?
I mean, I think it's a bit of both. To be honest, I think the main reason we're seeing so many wall yellers is because the first wall yeller was so praised by the internet community, by the live feeders, that it encouraged a lot of other people to follow suit. And so they you
Are you
kind of
blaming
have
Brent?
to. Yes, I'm 100% blaming Brent. But they kind of have to, the more that the internet encourages wall yellers, the more wall yellers there will be. So the only way to get the internet to turn against wall yellers is to punish them for every wall yeller. It's one of those things where it's like, there's a kid in your class that's just like really unruly, and won't follow the rules, but you keep trying to punish that one kid and they just keep doing it. So you're like, all right, fine. The entire class is gonna have to suffer for you, and then everyone else turns to that kid like, come on. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like the principal in the Breakfast Club, where it's like, all right, wall yeller, you just bought yourself 4 more hours of the live feeds being off. Now you got 6. Now you got 8. I can do this all day.
I recline.
Let's see, how's it going with the dog?
It's going well. We put one of her toys up on the top shelf because it had ripped open, and so she's standing behind me, staring up at it, like barking and trying to get the toy down. I don't know, so I had to come over and give her the toy. We dropped the toy down, and she was like, "Okay, cool, I'm good now." So, just
practicing for when Dr. Wu shows up too.
That toy has been up there for like a month, and she hasn't cared until right now. So, yeah, sorry.
All right.
She's a star.
Nathan, do the house guests deliberately throw the HOH comp if a double eviction is not announced and they want to be able to play HOH in the double triple? Is that a good game move? Should somebody be incentivized not only about prizes, but the fact that if they think it's a double eviction, they want to play in the double?
Yes, generally. The double eviction is usually worth a bit more than a regular week eviction because you can make a move without getting your hands as dirty as we talked about. It's a lot cleaner, less drama. Your game doesn't get blown up. So it's a much more powerful HOH to win. It also doesn't tend to raise your threat level as much because you're not upstairs in the HOH from all week. And on top of that, because it's so powerful, if you don't win, you are extra vulnerable with somebody else being there, being able to take a big move and potentially take you out. So a double alone is worth throwing the HOH in preparation for a double eviction. If they know it's a triple, and if it's, especially if it's a Big Brother Canada style triple, the outgoing HOH for a triple eviction is the absolute worst place to be in a season of Big Brother. It's a very, very bad spot. You actively would, I would actively take punishments to avoid being the HOH.
What the fuck?
Prior to a triple eviction.
How the fuck do I get out?
Not a good place to be.
So that, let me get next level with you here, Theron. Okay, ask you stuff that you never thought about, okay? In terms of the double-double, do you want to throw the first HOH in the double-double?
Caution.
No, I don't think so, because you never know, you could throw the first one, try to win the second one, but then you don't win the second one. So you want to
isn't the first HOH very vulnerable in the back half of the double-double?
Definitely vulnerable, but here's the thing, it's the sort of thing where, basically if you win the first one, and you know that there's another one coming up, you can talk to everyone and be like, look, I'm keeping you safe, but I'm going to need protection in the next part of this. And there's not a lot of time for somebody to, actively backstab you after having done that. So I think, if anything, it's actually more beneficial to win the first of a double-double, whereas, the reverse is true in the week lead-up.
Okay, we're in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Could be an interesting week.
How do I get
I
up?
wonder.
I'm so fucking
I'm just
confused
starting
right
to think
now.
about what is the strategy that you want to bring into a double
I shoot
eviction. Well,
this?
this kind of double
Oh.
eviction.
Okay.
It's a lot of doubles, and you know, I kind of wonder because, like, is this a good time to pretend like, oh, I threw up my shoulder, or like Memphis, oh, my back is killing me, and they're like, you know, something like that. You know, and I feel like there might be something that fools
Fuck
people
off with this
enough
mission.
that they
What the
don't have
fuck
time
is
to
this
process it
mission?
and think about it.
Why is
I don't
this
know,
a
I'm
fucking
saying it might
thing?
happen. This is me with my tinfoil hat on somewhere. But yeah, I'd be excited to see someone pull some magic out of the hat to stay in the house.
Okay,
Danny.
Judith Pat, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a question from Person Woman Dan Giesling TV. I have been feeling like David's in a good spot to sneak by, but could he be an easy triple eviction casualty? We'll see.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that with something like this that you didn't plan for, you're going to fall back on what's easy. If your main option is, or like, if they're planning to go for Danny in the double eviction, it's a double. So they go for Danny, they take out Danny, now there's another double eviction. They haven't planned for 2 double evictions. Well, I guess David's the easy thing, right? So, well, I guess we'll just do David now, because we haven't planned for what to do after. And so that's where he could be in some danger.
Okay. Let's take another question here, and this one is from Andrea. Says, what's up with Cody and Danny?
Can we just fucking go?
What happened during the outage?
Yes, this is what we were talking about earlier with the
Oh, fuck off. Why are there so many fucking enemies right here?
Something we talked
This
about
is
earlier
ridiculous.
in the show tonight about how many hugs did Julie give before this? One of our listeners, Bradley Michael, says there were 4 hugs that Julie gave last year. Kat and Jess were initiated by the house guest. Here is Kat with a hug. Jess with a hug. Tommy came up and took one from her. And then here is a hug for Nicole. So 4 hugs last year.
So she initiated the hug with Nicole. It was mutual with Tommy, and then Kat and Jess initiated the hug with Julie. So only one unprompted initiated hug last season. Interesting. I'm curious to know now, did Julie tell Nicole Anthony this time that she wishes she could hug her?
I think she said she would have liked to.
Override.
But that's it.
I think she thought Nicole Anthony needed it.
I was trying to use the med kit the entire
wanted to
fucking
actually
time.
embrace her, but that's my read.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I have it from that night. I don't see. Let me. That was. I think that night. That was the "You Look Like Busy Phillips." Was that same night? Okay. Let's take another question. This one is from.
Can I just say, very insulting to Busy Phillips to say that Danny looks like Busy Phillips, and then later in the season say, Danny, you look real old.
Yeah. That's a very good point there. Okay. Let's take a question from Hardways. Does the triple eviction
What the fuck is this bullshit? What the
fuck? I
fuck?
guess we'll see. We don't know.
Under normal circumstances, I would say, yeah, definitely. But I think, like, because of COVID and everything, like, I really don't know if they're gonna risk bringing people back in. It might be a lot more trouble than it's worth to, like, be testing and retesting.
This
and,
is
like, making
ridiculous.
sure
This
everyone's
fucking
very
mission.
whatever.
It's like, why is this a thing? We fucking took down the boss and we have to fucking do all this fucking bullshit to fucking complete this section of the game? Like, why?
Soundstage next door to
fuck
the
off.
BD house.
Sure. What, like 15K? 20?
Ring, ring. Hello? Yeah.
Fuck, open the fucking thing.
Dr. Phil, answer the phone.
Hello?
Wait, are you Will or am I Will? Here, you be Will, I'll be production.
Okay. You call me then.
I'm the director, and action.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh my god, what the
what's
fuck
going
is
on?
this?
It's,
Again, why the
Big
fuck are there
Brother.
like 100 fucking guards
you guys
here?
Yeah, it's a good time for you?
No, but whatever.
Yeah, hey, still wish you would've, shown up for this season. It's a good one.
Yeah, well, I wish you had given me $100,000 for it, but we can't always get what we want, can we?
Alright, here's the deal. We've got a really cool idea that we're excited about.
Alright, guess we're just gonna try to kill them
the
first?
first person we thought of. It's called the Big Brother Neighbor.
Neighbor.
Yeah. You know, you could be like up in the balcony, coming in, you're drinking coffee in a bathrobe. It's really a hilarious thing.
Oh, yeah, a bathrobe? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm very partial to my suits here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get me in a bathrobe.
What's your quote again? What's your rate?
Well, how much are you paying them to play?
40,000.
40,000? Yeah, like 50,000. That would be about what I would want.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you. We'll call you back on this.
They're like, we'll pay you whatever you want, Will. We need you. We need a
Matt,
reason for people to tune in.
Will is definitely getting more money than a lot of the people in the season for this, right?
100%. I would love to see the inside of his house. It seems like a condo setup because I'm getting like the balcony. Maybe he's in the penthouse. Like it'd be really nice to see the setup because if he has to spend any time there, it's probably fancy. You know, Will wouldn't settle. Dr. Will would not settle for anything less.
You wouldn't think so.
Man of
Oh,
reason.
fuck off. What the fuck is
This
this?
is from Ben. Do you think the big, well-insulated players like Tyler, Cody, Enzo could potentially go home during the triple? Or do you think we'll likely just see a predictable David, Kevin, Danny eviction?
Fuck that mission.
Hard to say. We still have a whole eviction week to get through before we get there. You know, I guess anything is possible. We'll see.
The insulated people tend not to go home
Dude, it's like,
during
what a
the double
terrible
evictions,
mission.
just because it requires too much planning to get them out. Because similar to where like Danny like accidentally put up Tyler and she didn't have the votes to send him home, you don't want to put yourself in that spot, so you go for the easier targets. The doubles only take out the bigger targets if you've already planned for it to happen. So you've already put in the groundwork, and nobody has put in the groundwork to take out Cody or Enzo at this point.
Yeah. Let's take another question, and it is from Stacked, who says, now that there are prizes or power programs, how fast will it take for the whole alliance to implode? Matt, do you think that we'll have a whole alliance implosion this week?
I'm not hopeful. I think
What does the
that
prize need to be for an implosion?
Maybe who knows, $40,000.
No, 40,000 followers.
Ooh.
If that was a prize, oh my god, they'd go for it.
A brand new sponsor.
And you would see just chaos.
I can't believe that Cody took that. That prize was for me.
How about this one?
Never forget him.
I don't
One of
give
the
a shit.
prizes,
The way I
an
see it,
invite to Nicole's wedding.
you're the one in charge.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And if you ever need
That's
How
a
about
good
this?
one.
A vegan feast.
Ooh.
There are some great prizes that you could ultimately win. We'll see. All right. Melissa, anything else from tonight?
No, I think we covered it. I mean, honestly, overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I was excited by it. I feel like there was ups and downs and whatever. The only thing I would say is that I would have liked to see a new HOHB crowd, and I feel like that would have been like the cherry on top. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But, otherwise, I thought it was a good episode.
Okay. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about Day, one thing that I saw just leading up to the episode was just Day and this dynamic where she feels disappointed in her performance, and I think Day's definitely a winner in my book. She's done an incredible job representing a lot of different groups, not just the ones that she's part of, and I think it's a huge win to have Day there and representing and talking about things that we would never imagine on Big Brother, between justice for Breonna Taylor and so on and so. But so she's done so much, and I think when she comes out of the house, she'll actually see that Big Brother producers gave her a lot of time to be seen talking about those things. And so I'm happy for Day. I feel good about her, and I'm glad. I feel like everyone's giving her flowers now, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, Matt, you make a great point. Things didn't always go great for Devon this season. There were a lot of things that did not go her way. She didn't always, or too many times, have her finger on the pulse of what was going on in the house.
No.
But she comes out more beloved than she's ever been in her Big Brother career. And Lucy, perhaps America's favorite player.
We're ready for.
That'd be pretty amazing. I mean, there's some time still. I don't know who else would be America's favorite player.
Also, I feel like she's one of the few people this season who's coming out in a more loved, better position than when she went in versus a lot of the others. So
yeah. Okay.
Overall,
next episode
overall
was
good.
too long?
Obviously, we wish she could have gone further. You know, she wanted to win, and
It is already
we know
1
that,
o'clock in the morning, so
I
don't know if I'm gonna do another one tonight or not. We'll see.
Than to be in a worse off.
I'm kind of on
Anything else from your perspective tonight?
Debating it.
I think we're good.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about what else is going on here.
Is it for the podcast?
As a website.com.
9 minutes? Okay, I think we're done for tonight. I think this is a good spot to end.
Of course, Puya is back.
Okay, why am I listening to this again?
What's going on Happily Ever After over on 90 Day Fiancé on our Wrap Up feed. Check that out. And then Josh and Jessica and Brooklyn Zen wrap up season 1.
Why did I get that
the
mission?
Mole Patrol.
What? I'm so confused.
Feedback. Check
Why
out
was that a
the
thing?
final episode of our season 1 coverage of The Mole.
I'm so confused.
Over on our Wrap Up feed.
Whatever.
And the Masked Singer was back this week. Do any of you watch Masked Singer?
Alright, next episode we'll do this. For now, thank you for watching.